The following is a podcast from a qualified senior care provider heard on the Answers for Elders radio show.
And welcome back, everyone, to Answers for Elders Radio Network. And we are here with the wonderful innovator, Ryan Herd from Caregiver Smart Solutions. And Ryan, it's been such a joy for me to get to know you. I always get excited when there's hope on the horizon to provide more dignity, more, a sense of wellness for our seniors and for people that devote their lives to do that. Ryan, one of the things when you were talking about when you really felt like this is what the direction you needed to go as a techie guy that you are. And the thing that I used to think about, I did the same thing. My story is similar in the fact that I was confused taking care of my mom. And I had a spiritual teacher that I read a lot of. And one of the things that rings true to me, and I'm paraphrasing here, but if you see a job, it's yours. There's this element of, I think some of us, they get a calling, they get a passion to do the right thing. And that's, I want to give you a compliment because that's how I kind of sense of who you are. And, your heart and your caring for our families across the U.S. I couldn't wait to get you on the show. So I'm excited.
Thank you very much for that.
You're very welcome. So tell us a little bit about, I know you have done a lot of studies about what families are like in the world. And as far as, there's the inner circle and there's the people that are on the fringes, right?
Yeah.
Did you do a lot of thought process in that, in developing your program?
Yeah, I'm going to say three things, and then we're going to come back to that. So I'm going to say home alone, circle of care, and then clarity of care.
Okay.
So what does that mean? It means, here's the problem. Nowadays, we are living longer and we're getting older, right? And for the most part, we're still living on our own. So we're home alone. Now, your aging loved one, they might live with you, maybe not. They might live, at the end of the cul-de-sac, maybe on the other side of town, or they might not even live in the state that you're in.
Sure.
And one of the issues is, you're doing your best to try to help that person, whether it's stopping before work, stopping during lunch, stopping, afterwards. But the issue is you can't be there all the time.
No.
And the second part is when we start talking about circle of care. So think about all the people that are helping your loved one. Obviously, it's you. You're trying to help your loved one. But then there's also the doctors, there's nurses, there is, maybe you have in-home non-medical services, the person that comes over and helps mom or dad, eat or do, activities of daily living. So there's that. And then there's the gaps. How do we fill the gaps so we have quality of care? And again, it goes back to maybe you take an extended lunch, you stop by mom, see how she's doing, and then maybe you have to call in the rest of the day at work because there's something up. You need to bring mom back to maybe minute clinic or maybe the doctor, whatever that is. But you can't be there all the time. So how do we solve the problem and get some, fix those gaps of care and get some clarity of care? And that's really the mandate of what we're doing at Caregiver Smart Solutions. So I'm all about solving problems. And as you said, yes, it started because of my own issue with my father. And then my wonderful grandmother, who is 97 years old, she lives on her own and she's not going anywhere. But
amazing
family is concerned. So
and longevity,
right? She doesn't want to be spied on. There's psychological issues. And what I mean by that is, I might think a smart lock is the best thing in the world. But if I went to grandma's house and I put a smart lock on her condo, this lady would literally take it off and throw it at me because it's not that
not happening.
Right. It's not that she doesn't appreciate me, but what it is for the last 60, 70, 80 years, she come home and she puts a key in the lock and she expects to turn it. She doesn't need the fancy stuff. I don't need to put my finger on it. I don't need to put in numbers. I just want to put the key in the lock and unlock it.
Yeah.
So again, back to kind of what I was talking about before, there is appropriate use of technology And then there's understanding our loved ones. And
Yeah.
maybe they're a little set in their ways, but how do we work around this to basically make their life as easy as possible
Right.
and reduce our stress a little bit?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think, one of the things that you do, so well is it's a sensor. So tell me a little bit about the sensor, part, just a general, and then we're going to talk about who's part of that circle that accesses that.
So for us, our sensors are about the size of a quarter.
Okay.
And the sensors are tiny, as I said,
Mhm,
and they're placed discreetly around the home. And they're looking at a bunch of things. So what I challenge you to think of it as data points. And
Okay.
all of these little data points are monitoring how that person is.
Mhm.
So we're not requiring them to, wear something, change their habits. It's actually the habits that are the most powerful thing.
Yeah.
So for
Yeah.
example, if mom gets up every morning at 6:30, great, green check mark, everything's fine. But now all of a sudden it's 7:30, like, wouldn't you want to know? Wouldn't you want to know if she was up all night and then now it's 7:30, 8 o'clock, she hasn't gotten up? And those are the kind of things that you're not going to know. Those are the kind of things that if you call mom, she's always going to give you, I'm fine.
What you want to hear.
Exactly. Because, and it goes back to psychology, she doesn't want to be a burden on you.
No.
And that's fine. But these are the exact things we need to know. I need to know if mom was up all night and if it's 8 o'clock and she didn't get up. Now you can either swing by, you can call, whatever. And, maybe she was just binging Netflix. All right. Or maybe it's something worse.
Right.
Those are the kind of things that we're looking at from a habit-based system. So it's passive and it enables them to retain their independence.
Yeah. So what happens is then basically, let's say mom falls. There's a sensor in the bathroom. I would take it. So how does a sensor then basically notify the individual that your mom has fallen? Is that what happens?
Yeah, so it really is amazing. Again, based on my belief system. My belief system is, how do I develop something that doesn't require any input from that person, a button or whatnot? With that said, I do like layering things on. So if you can get your loved one to wear that "I've fallen and can't get up," that's great. Most likely you can't. So for us, we have a suite of sensors that also includes emergency buttons. So if mom can get to the emergency button, we have 3. You place them discreetly around the home and she can get to them, great. Push the button, you'll be notified immediately. But if you can't and she falls between the bedroom and bathroom, because of our sensors and we know her habits, we'll know that she falls and we'll send you that alert. Possible.
Okay. So in other words, she left her bedroom and we know that mom goes to the bathroom first thing when she wakes up, but she never hit the bathroom. So we know something happened in between. So that's huge.
Yeah.
So Ryan, we're going to talk a lot more about this. In the meantime, everyone go to caregiversmartsolutions.com and you have a special code AFE, like Answers for Elders 10, to receive 10% off. And Ryan and we're going to be right back right after this. We at Answers for Elders thank you for listening. Did you know that you can discover hundreds of podcasts in our library on senior care? So visit our website and discover our decision guides that will help you also navigate decision making. Find us at answersforelders.com.